Hello, everybody. I'm Skip Elsheimer. Welcome to the AV Geeks Lunchtime Streaming Show, where we watch old 16mm films. And I'm getting old because I'm talking about the weather. It's very nice outside. There's very little humidity. It's beginning to be fall. October is truly my favorite month of the year for many reasons, and one of them is just the weather gets better. It's not so hot. Like summer is my least favorite time of the year. So there you go. So we watch old 16mm films here, and we have been scanning as we move films back into the archive space, into our film vault. I've been pulling films and filling up a milk crate and then bringing it back, and myself and my assistant, Kayshawn, have been scanning. And so today is a bunch of stuff. I think these are all from us. Like sometimes I sprinkle in things from the Prelinger archive or other archives, but we've been concentrating on our stuff. And we found this film called A Mystery Story. And this is an interesting film because this is a Moody Institute of Science film that was made in 1981, which is amazing to me. I thought that they kind of lost their momentum in the mid-70s, but here it is. So I don't think it has Dr. Irwin Moon in it, so it's not as good as it could be. But here you go. Enjoy.
Butterflies, star performers in nature's mysterious reappearing act. Almost like magic, they show up in large numbers for an exclusive summer engagement in your garden. But where did they come from? Ever wonder? In the case of the Anise swallowtail, we have a clue in its name. It's called the Anise swallowtail because it usually lays its eggs on the wild anise plant. These eggs are so small, it takes a magnifying glass for you and me to even see what they look like. If you want to compare, they're actually smaller than the head of a pin. It takes about 2 weeks for the egg to hatch, and then we have a beautiful butterfly, right? Well, not yet. At this stage, the swallowtail's main problem is trying to grow a body to match the size of its head. Obviously, our butterfly is just a baby, and like most babies, it's born hungry. Often the first thing to go is the empty eggshell, but this is just an appetizer. The main course is the leaf of the anise plant on which it was born. The growth of a young caterpillar is amazing. Just a few days makes a lot of difference. 2 or 3 more weeks, and he continues to change from this to this, a regulation, full-sized caterpillar. What a difference, and all because of an enormous appetite. A caterpillar is almost all stomach, and keeping that stomach full seems to be its only purpose in life. Ever find yourself eating like a caterpillar? It doesn't do much for your garden, but the caterpillar does have a good reason for the appetite. You see, he has to store up as much food as possible for something big that will happen to him in the next stage of his life. That is, if he lives that long. So while he's in this form, he needs protection from birds and other hungry creatures. How does he do it? Well, he's not very fast, certainly not ferocious. But the Creator did provide an effective defense mechanism. Simple, but it really works. Whenever danger comes near, the caterpillar shoots out a couple of orange gadgets that fill the air with a strong odor. So strong, in fact, it has earned the creature the nickname skunk of the insect world. As a caterpillar, he pulls himself along by 8 pairs of legs. The first 3 pairs are jointed. The others are just temporary and will soon be lost. After several weeks of stuffing himself, the caterpillar is ready for that big event we were talking about. The spinning of a silken loop is an important preparation. Here again we see how the Creator provides for living things. Unknown to the caterpillar, in just a few days, this simple-looking cord will become his life belt. Once finished, the caterpillar performs a neat bit of gymnastics and ducks his head through the loop. He adjusts his life belt one last time and then hangs quietly for several days. It may look like he's given up, but this is just a rest period before something else mysterious happens. First, his extra legs disappear. Then the caterpillar begins to twist and turn. Finally, the skin splits open and... oh, what's this? It's not a butterfly. Doesn't even look like a caterpillar. Actually, what you see is called a chrysalis, sort of a dressing room a caterpillar uses while changing into an adult butterfly. As the old skin is shaken off, we have a moment to think about the change. The change from caterpillar to chrysalis. How does he manage it? He's never done it before. He's never even seen another caterpillar do it. And yet, he does exactly the right thing at the right time. How? Well, we could say that it's just an accident. But obviously, it's much more than that. Each and every step has been carefully planned so that many caterpillars will be able to survive from one stage of life to the next. The way these colors blend into the background isn't by chance either. It's deliberate camouflage, part of the survival system. The caterpillars forming these chrysalids are all of the same type, the anise swallowtail. They all ate the same food, lived under identical conditions, except for one difference. They were placed on different colored sticks just before entering the chrysalis stage. At first, an emerging chrysalis may not bear any resemblance to its environment. Yet almost immediately, there's a color change that matches perfectly with the surroundings. This camouflage is the only protection the insect has during the 2 weeks it hangs quietly, waiting for its day of freedom. When that day finally arrives, there's a few moments of jerking and twisting again, and then a butterfly. Tiny tubes within the wings are being filled, some with blood, some with air, some with a special liquid that will soon cement, giving rigidity and strength to the butterfly's wings. So there you have it. You've gone behind the scenes to solve one of nature's most beautiful mysteries. You've seen what happens when the Creator's plan is followed every step of the way without fail. And now ask yourself, what can we learn about ourselves from the butterfly? Does God have a plan for us?
So, Moody Institute of Science was from the Moody Bible Institute. It was basically started by Dr. Irwin Moon and a couple of other people. Irwin Moon was doing these things called sermons from science, where he was actually traveling around and doing science experiments, and then would do a sermon based on that. And it was a way to kind of use science as a gimmick to get people to listen to you talk about Jesus. Very successful. He actually had with the Moody Bible Institute, they had a pavilion at one of the World's Fairs, or maybe two of them. And so Moody Institute of Science, they basically edited these longer films that the Moody Bible Institute put out. They were around 30 minutes to an hour, and they edited them down to little short 10-minute, 15-minute pieces. And they downplayed Jesus. They still talked about God, but they figured that, well, the vast majority of classrooms in the United States, God is not an offensive concept. So they went with that, and they got a bunch of money from schools who were getting money from the National Defense Education Act, which was trying to teach science to kids so that we could keep up with the Russians. Anywho, towards the 70s, a lot of people, a lot of educators and school boards were like, there's a lot of mentioning of God in this film. This has got some great science concepts. It's got some great science footage, but it always kind of, at the end, talks about God making all this happen. So the science kind of falls apart. So they stopped really kind of carrying these films because they're like, well, this is, separation of church and state. Not everybody believes in God. Not everybody believes in the same God. And so Moody Institute of Science started waning. And so to see one from 1981 is pretty amazing, because potentially that could have been shown in my high school, because I was in high school in the 80s. But you notice that they changed God to the creator. So maybe they were like, God. Maybe creator is Allah. Maybe the creator is somebody else. Still trying to mention the fact that it was this creator that created this mechanism for how butterflies emerge from the cocoon and how they protect themselves. And so it's interesting to kind of see that. Anyhow, and then, of course, that was spreading the seeds of what became intelligent design, which reemerged in the 2000s. And now evolution is considered a theory, but also intelligent design is considered a theory. All right, we are going to jump into some animation. This film is made by AT&T and is not a science film. It is a business film, and it is voice of your business. And unfortunately, we're missing the title, but it's still great. Enjoy.
I'll be sure to give him the message. Thank you. Goodbye.
Well, hello. These offices, so well equipped, really looked alive. They seemed to have a method for making thrive. At Short & Company, right next door, the personnel had know-how. But this company, though well equipped, looked a bit offbeat somehow.
Mr. Short? Well, who's calling? No.
Well, number's out.
See you now, our number 18208, huh? That one you want? Okay, call you back, bye.
What was that again? Oh, where is that order book?
Indeed, Short and Long were much alike. Their offices seemed the... Yet the trend on poor Short's progress chart was economic shame.
Hello? Hello?
Here's the mail, Mr. Short. That looks interesting.
Ads and booklets. No orders. No wonder we're losing.
But, sir...
Cancel all my calls today, Miss Imes. I'm in conference. With myself, that is.
How come Long was so successful? This caused Short consternation. What could be the difference in their business operation? But Short was quite determined. He'd just browse round about, for somewhere in his neighbor's place, he'd find the secret out.
Morning, Lawn and Company. Just one moment, please.
Mr. Smith's office, Miss Riley. Certainly, would you hold on, please? Mr. White, I have a call for you on Miss Smith's wire.
Why, hello, Mr. Short. Why the funny costume?
This is Long. Hello, Jim. Yes, that matter has been taken care of. Thank you for calling.
Yellow desk set. Green phone.
Yes, Mr. Dingle. That's D for David. I-N-G-L-E. Yes, I have your message. Thank you, Mr. Dingle. Goodbye.
Miss Brown, I'll be with Jackson if there are any calls.
Yes, Mr. Long.
The order number is PQ7X2987. That's right. No trouble at all, sir. Goodbye.
Short finished with his survey. Success now must be his fate. For everything he'd seen at Long's, he had tried to duplicate.
Very good, Miss Sands. Oh, yes, call Finchley for me, please.
Yes, sir.
Well, who's this? Yeah, Miss White. I, got that, order.
What was that again? Oh, where is that order book?
Not until Mr. Finchley is there.
I've got my man waiting.
Well, put him on. I'm ringing mine.
Green phone, pinstripe suit.
Where is Short? He called me. Forget it.
Hello? Hello? Well, speak up. What is it? Oh, hung up.
Now Short's place matches Mr. Long's. Location, form, shape, and size. Short anticipates happy times with business on the rise. If it worked for Long, why not for Short? The logic seemed okay. So with passing time, the charting line changed from day to day. Now for Mr. Short and Company, cares and woes, they got 'em. For lo, things got no better. The trend still went to bottom. The magic touch of Mr. Long was a mystery Short must solve to lift his books out of the red or watch his firm dissolve. So this was Short's most desperate plan, sneaking in at dark of night. Perhaps alone in Long's abode, some clue would come to light.
Can't understand it. I advertise. My machines are just like Long's. My salesmen are tops. Looks familiar. Seems like I've got one of these somewhere. Yeah, just like the one Long has. Here, the voice of your business. Do your telephone manners hurt business? What's wrong with our manners? Does the voice of your business create the kind of image you want?
Was this the clue to Long's success? Was his secret finally known? Did Short and Company fail to show courtesies on the phone? Answering promptly, speaking clearly, transferring calls and dialing right. taking messages and orders, and at all times being polite. Keep a handy list of numbers. Maintain a pleasant tone. With all these points together, then your business voice is known.
Of your business, create the kind of image you want. What kind of image?
Hello? Where is everybody? Hello, Finchley speaking. I'd like to talk with Mr. Short, please.
Who? Oh, yes, Mr. Finney. Just a second. Oh, my. I'll try his office. Will you give me the minute? No, this isn't Short. I'll switch you back to the operator.
Hello, Short.
Oh, he's not here. Oh, you all mixed up, Buster.
Hello? Hello?
Yeah, hello. No, now you got the wrong department. All right,
Are you two talking to Mr. Short?
I haven't got him yet.
Oh, my. No, just a moment. Oh, my.
Short, is that you?
No, he's not here. I don't know, but he must be here somewhere, I think. I don't know. Mr. Short.
This isn't business. Sounds like a menagerie. Never mind. I'll call Long and Company.
Could it be? No, impossible. Just as I thought. Everything normal.
Hello? Who? Oh, yes, Mr. Finney.
Oh, he's not here.
No, this is
No, you got the wrong department. No wonder we're in trouble. So that's how the voice of my business sounds. Hello, what is it? Hello! No one there. What? Oh, no. Me too? Perhaps it's not too late to change our ways.
So Mr. Short had found the key that caused his hopes to rise. The secret was always open right before his eyes. Things have changed for Mr. Short. He's really on a par with Long. For now, he too is quite aware of phone habits right and wrong. No more would he stoop to silly stunts and sneak about at night. With just a little training, he had set his office right. Salesmen, switchboard girls, secretaries, clerks, and all simply use their common courtesies in making a phone call.
And what's your number, please? Plaza 3, 3598. Thank you. I'll give him your message.
This is White. May I help you?
Would you care to wait, or may I call you back?
Yes, Mr. Fink, I have the message. Now I'll transfer you to Mr. Bottle.
Answering quickly, taking messages properly, transferring of a call, leaves the strong impression that you're really on the ball.
Mr. Short's office. Miss Symes.
I'd like to talk with Mr. Short, please.
Good morning, Mr. Finchley. Just a moment, please.
This is Short. Oh, yes, Mr. Finchley. Thank you for your order. Yes, thank you. Goodbye. Oh, Mr. Finchley, thank you very much. Goodbye.
Short is now an expert, and others he'll advise. The principles of phone technique are points to emphasize. This everyday politeness when making a telephone call gives a help to business and boosts morale for one and all.
Man, that film was splicey at the beginning. So a couple of things happened. One is that somebody thread the film in the projector incorrectly, and it shredded the film. So the only recourse was to clip out anytime that the sprocket holes were torn, which it looked like it was a bunch. The other thing that potentially happened is somebody was rewinding it, and the film, like on a fast rewinder, and the film just fell into pieces, and they were only able to splice together pieces that they could find. And that has certainly happened to me. I had a fast film viewer that was made for libraries and archives, and if you were not keeping an eye on it, it would create this confetti out of film if you weren't careful. So hopefully I'll find another copy of that somewhere, because I want to know what the beginning is, and it's fascinating. It's really, really interesting, because it's AT&T trying to convince people to invest in telephones for their businesses, but it's also saying like, hey, these are a tool and you got to use them right, otherwise you're going to lose customers. But ultimately what I want to know, and this next film asks, is how are you? How are you doing?
This is a swinger. He lives in Swingsville. He uses the daytime for sleep and the nighttime for play. He's cool. This is a swinger who's wandered away from his home. He's exploring in a different direction. Now, these are the people who live down the road. Cool they are not. They're mostly square. And this is the swinger who meets the people who live down the road. He's puzzled. They're puzzled. We're puzzled. If we look closely, we'll see that these two groups represent two different behavior patterns, but represent traits that may be found in all of us to some degree. We might be able to fit within each of these societies better than the swinger would fit in with the group from Squaretown, or the squares would fit in with the residents of Swingsville. Generally speaking, though, we function in between all extremes of behavior, sometimes leaning toward one group, sometimes toward another. So, where does that leave us? Somewhere in normal. And what is normal? Well, normal isn't as easy to describe as differences or extremes. First of all, let's talk about behavior. Behavior is the outward expression of our feelings and thoughts put into actions. Actions by which others judge us. That's not to say that behavior is a foolproof sign of a person's true feelings and thoughts, but it is a reasonably good indicator. Normal behavior, then, is our reactions, our expressions which fit within standards as accepted by our own particular groups. Variations in our standards, whether they be moral, legal, social, or biological standards, allow for a wide range of behavior which is considered normal. Or let's say this another way. Every man is in some respects like all other men. In some respects like some other men. In some respects like no other man. Our basic emotions are like those of all other men. We experience love, fear, anger, grief, joy. At times, our normal or usual behavior can change when we are controlled by one of these emotions. We also said that in some respects we are like some other men. Our square towners shared many behavior patterns. So did the swingers. And some of the behavior characteristics that are found in one group are minor or non-existent in the other. Finally, we are like no other man in that each of us has his own individuality. Each has certain behavior traits that are entirely his own. These ways of acting can be counted on either the plus or minus side of what we define as normal behavior. But normal behavior allows slight detours now and then. Returning to the right track depends upon our ability to meet such situations, to work at the problems and to keep working at them until we have found a satisfactory way of handling them. How well we do this depends upon the health of our minds. Mental health is the stamina which allows us to confront a problem and to continue meeting it until we have managed it satisfactorily. Here we might compare mental health to physical health. A person who is physically sound still may suffer occasionally from some slight ailment, a cold, a cut, or a bruise, for example. But because he is physically healthy, he recovers quickly from these discomforts. It is natural also for the person who is mentally healthy to have slight ailments in the form of worries, irritations, blue moods. It is the mental health of the person which allows him to overcome these problems, much as his physical health allows him to recover from physical discomforts. So, mental health is the vigor and persistence that sees a person through each day, overcoming disappointments, worries, fears, which are natural, before they become too difficult to handle. What makes mental health? A person's mental health depends upon his attitude toward himself. This involves a blending of self-acceptance and self-confidence. This means we accept both our limitations and our possibilities. Respect for others also strongly influences behavior. The healthy person is guided by the rights of others, by the rules of society, and by the reasonable demands of authority without feeling he is giving up his own rights. The healthy person recognizes the limitations and possibilities of other people and adjusts to them. Here we must caution against measuring everyone by the same yardstick. People differ greatly in their capacity to react to strains and frustrations. Indeed, there is room in our concept of mental health for a wide range of accepted behavior. In fact, it is more the process of solving problems rather than the actual solution which denotes mental health. The healthy individual is aware of his problems and tries to deal with them. The way in which the problem is handled and how long it takes are individual matters and vary according to each person. The ability to handle problems depends upon seeing things pretty much as they are. The world, as seen through the eyes of the swinger or the square, may appear different than it does to you or me. The bouncy swinger sees life one way, and the reserved square sees things another. There is room for many individual interpretations, for each of us sees things through his own particular pair of glasses, tinted by his experiences. If the experiences become shattering, what he sees will be distorted. The continuing inability to see things as they are, the constant distortion of people and events, is one of the chief signs of mental illness. Mental illness is the abnormal functioning of the mind, when feelings and thoughts become disturbed and twisted, and irrational, unrealistic actions follow. More than that, such behavior is repetitive. In other words, not only is the action inappropriate to handle the problem, but the person persists in the face of repeated failure. In mental illness, it is no longer a matter of simple depression annoyance, or daydreaming, all of which are conditions in which we find ourselves occasionally. When these conditions go beyond the once-in-a-while stage and become relatively constant, then they are indicators of mental illness. The factors that contribute to mental illness are many: physiological, psychological, and social. We don't know all the causes of such illness yet. We do know that a person's physical constitution, his emotional functioning, and his environment are influencing factors in the production of illness. There are many patterns of mental illness, too. They range all the way from heightened anxiety and distractibility to complete distortion of reality. Some forms of mental illness are due to actual disorganization of the brain cells. This may occur following infection or injury, or result from the cells wearing out. Such disorders as meningitis, head injury, stroke, and senility may have a temporary or permanent effect on the individual and his behavior. Some mental illnesses show themselves in actual physical disorders and discomfort. It is recognized that many common physical conditions, such as ulcers, allergies, asthma, high blood pressure, weight problems, may sometimes have emotional causes. And then there are many irrational fears, which are characteristic of certain forms of mental illness. There are uncontrollable fears of people, places, and situations. The fear overpowers the person, and he is unable to function normally. The fear of remembering some particularly painful event or period of life can be so strong that all recollection of the happening is wiped out. Other mental diseases are of unknown cause and result in profoundly distorted behavior. These mentally ill persons are usually easy to identify by their bizarre actions. A person may be extremely suspicious, imagine and believe that others are against him, that they are responsible for his failures. He may even claim to have special powers by which he can destroy the world, or he may react violently to imagined plots against him. There is also the person who withdraws. He is fearful of other people and avoids contact with them. He builds an imaginary world to live in and may even behave in a childish fashion. In still another type of mental illness, a person's mood may swing to extremes. If it goes up, he becomes elated, overactive, and has grandiose ideas. He flits from one thing to another, never completing anything. If his mood goes down, he feels sad and worthless. To him, life has no meaning, and suicide may result. Then there is the sickness of character, or the personality disorder. This individual is described as a person with a wealth of means, but a poverty of results. He wants what he wants when he wants it. He knows the rules and the rights of others, but he doesn't care. Usually these individuals are loners, perhaps developing a strong dependence on alcohol or drugs, or fighting society, profiting neither from experience nor punishment, and often considered by society as criminal or immoral. As we have shown you, there are many kinds of mental illness, some mild, some severe. Remember the swingers and the squares? Different? Of course. Sick? Not necessarily. Although within each group, there may be some who are less able to handle their problems. What can you do to handle the problems you meet each day and stay mentally healthy? Here are some suggestions. Confront your problems. Adapt to change. Know your possibilities. Accept your limitations. Respect others. Gauge the appropriateness of your actions to each situation. Now ask yourself, How are you?
That film was awesome for many reasons. One of them is that I had a therapy session this morning, and so a lot of that's resonating. Why did I have a therapy session? Well, I have a pretty good outlook on life and live pretty well, and I'm very happy. But, you know, I'm getting older, and I'm dealing with loss and grief, anxiety. Some of this is internal, and some of this is external. And so it's helpful to talk to somebody about it. And I should say, there was Brian very kindly said that his mental health is good for an hour a day, thanks to AV Geeks, and I very much appreciate that because it goes both ways. I would like to think that we have cultivated a community of support and empathy, which is not a dirty word, and that we support each other. And we enjoy watching these old films, maybe as a distraction from what's currently going on, but it also, as you noted, sometimes these films are dead on. And they talk about what's going on right now. So, and in the course of sharing these films with you, it helps me. You are a community that I love and care about genuinely, and I try not to trigger you too much with stuff. I don't intentionally mean to, but sometimes it happens. And so, you know, safe space is kind of, I don't know, hippy dippy, I don't know. But I hope that this is a space that you feel comfortable and that you feel like you can be who you are. And I appreciate who you are. So there's my little PSA. And that film was awesome. All right. So this film is going to be interesting as well. Sometimes I pull films based on their title. How Are You was one of those. Mystery Story. I mean, all of these are compelling titles. So this one is Fouls and Violations in Basketball for Women. Enjoy.
This is a national basketball official rated by the Women's National Officials Rating Committee. Her job is to enforce certain rules and regulations governing the game of basketball for women. These rules have been carefully constructed over the years by the Division of Girls and Women's Sports for the benefit of all participants and the improvement of the game itself. Although basketball is theoretically a non-contact game, it is obvious that personal contact cannot be entirely avoided when players are moving rapidly over a limited space. This film illustrates some of the more common fouls and violations that can be expected in any game. Certain violations can take place in the center circle. The game always starts with a center throw. This is the correct way to do it. But a violation occurs when a player steps on or over the center circle line before the ball has been released. It is illegal to bounce the ball in the center circle or touch it again before it has been played by another player. Entering the restraining circle before the forward releases the ball is a violation, as is stepping on or over the restraining circle line. This is legal. But losing balance like this is a violation. Both violations and fouls can be expected on a tie ball. A tie ball occurs when two players catch the ball at the same time, or when a player uses only one hand. After a ball is secured by an opponent, it may be tied by using both hands firmly or by using only one hand. The hands are considered part of the ball. This is legal. A tie ball results in a jump ball. When the jump is taken in the center circle, players cross over the division line. Here, number 14 returns to her own half of the court as soon as the jump is completed. This is correct. If a player fails to return to her own half of the court, it is a violation unless she happens to be the roving player. On a jump ball, both girls must jump as instructed. Then they may tap it with one or both hands, not more than twice. This is legal. Here, number 14 taps it 3 times. Violation. Here is a violation on number 21. She taps the ball on the way up. It is also a violation to catch the ball or play it before it has touched the floor, basket, or another player. Here, the ball touches the floor first. This is legal. If she does not stay in her own half of the restraining circle until the ball is tapped, it is a violation. All other players must remain outside the restraining circle until the ball is tapped. This shows a violation on number 13. And so does this. In regular play, handling the ball may result in violations. A player may advance the ball down the court in a variety of ways. All these skills and techniques are legal. It is now legal to hand the ball to a teammate. But suppose something like this happens. This is a violation. Number 13 may not shoot for the basket until 2 completed passes have been made. Here, the basket does not count. When play is centered under the basket, forwards without the ball should keep moving. Here, forward number 4 remains for more than 3 seconds in the free throw lane. This is a violation. A player may not intentionally kick the ball, nor can she strike the ball with her fist. One of the most difficult ball handling violations to call accurately is traveling. In general, a player may not take more than 2 steps after receiving the ball. Here you see a player releasing the ball correctly. She may take 1 step. This is legal. Or she may take 2 steps. But here the player takes 3 steps. This is traveling. This jump in place is a violation. This is a legal pivot. Three steps, traveling. A player may advance the ball by means of a bounce, limited dribble, or juggle. This is a legal bounce. She may give impetus to the ball twice, or even 3 times. These are legal, limited dribbles. But it is a violation if she catches it with 2 hands or even touches the ball the second time with 2 hands. This is a juggle and legal. But she may not combine a bounce and a juggle. This is a violation. This is legal, and so is this. Here are some out-of-bounds violations. The red player knocks the ball out of bounds. To aid officials, she indicates this by raising her arm. The blue player now takes the ball out of bounds. This is the legal way to do it. This is a violation. She may not touch the ball after putting it in play until it is touched by someone else. Nor may she step on or over the boundary line until she has released the ball. This is also a violation. There is one situation where a foul can occur on an out-of-bounds play. The blue player here is guarding the throw-in legally. But if she fails to keep 3 feet away from the spot where the ball went out, a foul will be called on blue for delaying the game. A free throw is awarded the opposite team whenever a foul is committed, but violations can occur in this situation. On a free throw, the basket must be made or the ball must hit the ring. This shot is legal. But if the forward steps on or over the free throw line before the ball hits the ring, it is a violation and no basket. This is also a violation on the red team. Number 5 steps over the line. If a guard makes this violation, the basket counts. If missed, the forward repeats the free throw. Now let's look at some of the more common fouls. In charging, the player is always in possession of the ball. This is charging even though the contact is made with the ball. This is charging. The guard was stationary. Charging can occur on a pivot. Or in shooting for a goal. When a player blocks the progress of an opponent with or without the ball, the foul is blocking. This is blocking a player with the ball. So is this. Blocking can occur on a screenplay. This is a foul on number 4, who impedes the progress of a guard without the ball. This is a legal screenplay. This is also blocking a player without the ball. Face guarding with contact is a form of blocking. This is legal as long as the guard stays 3 feet away. But when she moves in, she is overguarding. It is a foul for one or more players to encircle a player without the ball. But this is legal. The player has the ball. It is a foul to guard a player with personal contact. This is pushing. So is this. This is holding. Tripping is a foul. Here is a legal guarding position. But this threatening of the eyes is dangerous and should be called immediately. A player may not commit any act that might cause injury to another player. This is unnecessary roughness, and this is unsportsmanlike conduct, a foul, and sufficient to remove the player from the game. It is a foul to touch or contact a player to keep track of her. This is tagging and a foul. Whenever a foul is called, the player must raise her arm to acknowledge the foul. If she doesn't, another foul is charged to her. After a field goal or free throw is made, the ball is put in play out of bounds at the end lines by a guard, as you will see here. The game of basketball should be conducted at all times for the benefit of all players. As in any other sport, the rules and regulations are part of the ritual of play. Winning is important, but more important is playing well and according to the rules. At the end of the game, a player feels a glow of personal satisfaction if she has played the game as it should be played.
Those uniforms were awesome. Anyways, yeah, so I have a lot of early sports, and it's really educational films. And it's fascinating to see the division of this is for men, boys, this is for women, girls, and there's a difference. But is there really a difference? I'm not sure. But I have, over the years, we've been collecting and scanning and showing some of this stuff. So it's kind of interesting. All right. Thanks, everybody, for tuning in today. Very much appreciate your eyeballs and your kind comments. We will be back again tomorrow, Friday, and we'll watch some more films because that's what we do. We scanned a bunch of stuff. Holy cow. We're kind of on a roll. So thanks so much for watching. If you like what you saw, you can donate via the Super Thanks button or go to ko-fi.com/avgeeks or patreon.com/avgeeks. There's also merch. If you go to the AV Geeks YouTube channel, you'll see that there you can buy a mug, you can buy a shirt, I think, some other things. You can also just watch other films that we have online, because those are, we get some advertising revenue from that, and that adds up, and that will help us pay down our probably $2,300 rentals. All the storage units we have, it's probably around $2,300, and we're hoping to eventually get rid of most of those. So by moving everything back into the archive. So thanks for watching. Everybody have a great rest of your Thursday, and we will see you soon. Take care.